I'd like to introduce to you another military veteran who is also a USA employee. I have had the distinct pleasure and honor of working with Army Master Sergeant Todd Nelson, who has been going full throttle for USA for nearly 3 years now. By the way, that's Todd's only speed, full throttle. Todd will tell you his own story, the struggles, the obstacles, and his triumphs. He is a great individual, and there's no finer example of a dedicated, loyal, hardworking USAA employee. Like he did on active duty, Todd continues to look after soldiers, and now he has added Marines, airmen, sailors, and Coast Guardsmen. As a member of the USA military recruitment team, it has been Todd's job to find military veterans like those in the Wounded Warrior Track Program, a career, not a job, but a career. Even more importantly, Todd has served as a mentor inside and outside of USAA for those making the transition to the civilian sector. As a side note, because of Todd's efforts, we exceeded our hiring goal of 30% of new hires being from the military. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Master Sergeant Todd Nelson.
Thank you for that kind introduction. Tonight I'm here to tell you my story and my transition. Before I do, I'd like to share with you a video.
My transition back into civilian life was pretty difficult. It was pretty distracting. I tried to go to school at OSU. I failed out. I just couldn't deal with the huge classrooms and all the distractions and everything.
I didn't apply myself. I wasn't motivated. I wasn't taking care of my issues. My PTSD continued to get worse. And I found Wounded Warrior Project and heard about the track program and just went ahead and applied.
I just felt like this was a point in my life where I wasn't going anywhere, I wasn't doing anything, didn't have a career in mind to what I wanted to do afterwards, and I just wasn't happy with the situation, so I wanted to make a change. And so I went through with it, and I love it. I'm glad I did.
Track is a year long. The academic phase is 9 months, and then the externship phase could be anywhere between 3 to 4 months.
They will go to school at either FSCJ down in Jacksonville or Northwest Vista College here in San Antonio, Texas. Our students at Track, they don't do anything differently than the normal students or the regular students at the colleges. They just do it with a buffer of help and support and resources.
Once your mind is good and you're physically well, and then you got the backup and the support from your other classmates, and you can see that you actually have someone that you can, you have people you can rely on. You just are a lot more happy. You feel a lot more fulfilled.
You know, we have the cohort mindset for a reason, so that they have the opportunity to gain those relationships, rely on that person, and so we give that here at Track.
It just made me realize that school is very important and something maybe I wish I would have done earlier, but I will do it now.
This program has completely changed my life around.
I went from being at my lowest point before track and now at I feel is an outstanding, I feel so good.
Take a chance. If you have questions, if you're apprehensive, or if you're not sure, talk to a recruiter about it, or talk to other students that have gone through it.
So I'm going to wander around the stage. I'm an old Army NCO, and so I don't like to stand behind a podium. Is that okay with everybody here? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Is that okay with everybody here? All right. So anyways, I can't get it back on now. Wardrobe malfunction. Okay, so first, let me say I'm proud to be offered the opportunity to come speak to you tonight by USAA. It is my honor to share my story with you, my transition story with you. But before I begin, I just want to let you know that in no way, shape, or form is what I'm about to say to bring credit to myself. I am here to tell the story of a wounded warrior. I am not interested in any recognition for this myself. Thank you. In 2007, I had the world in the palm of my hands. I had served the U.S. Army for 16 years, made senior non-commissioned officer. I was finishing up the second combat tour and probably my last combat tour. Had less than 30 days to go. I'd already picked out a sweet gig when I got back to the United States. I was going to find my last duty station. I was going to finish my college degree. I already had a place picked out, and I was a newly wedded man. And in an instant, in August of 2007, that all literally went out the window. When as I drove past the suicide bomb, it went off, came in through my side of the truck. Crushed the right side of my head, broke my jawbone, put a piece of metal through my eye, put me into a coma, had to be put on a respirator, and burned almost a quarter of my body. Through major medical advances, they were able to save me and get me back here to Brooke Army Medical Center to be treated for burns. I found out really quickly after 30 days in a coma, waking up from that my future was no longer what I thought it would be. And so begins the story of a wounded warrior. I thought I had it all figured out. I was going to have plenty of time to prepare, but I found out that I didn't have any time to prepare, and that the future was this instant. And I was lucky. Because of my burns, it took me 36 months to rehabilitate and recover and reconstruct. Over 43 different surgeries. During that time, I took advantage of it, and I went to school to finish my degree. And after those 3 years of surgeries, I was only 1 year away from graduating. I went ahead and medically retired from the service, and because I had a decent pension, I was able to spend a year to finish my degree. During that time, I went to do what every military person knows to do. I went to job fairs. I tried to build me a civilian network through job fairs. I walked past countless booths, got the same story from all of them, but I knew the look in the face. And this is a look, this is the face that you know you've been through a lot. And there's evidently going to be some sort of repercussions from this, and I don't know if I'm going to touch that. One company reached out to me, and that was my luckiest day, and that was USAA. They looked right at my face, and they knew I could potentially have issues, and they still said okay. And I will always be grateful for that. I took that opportunity, and they put me in the Human Resources Department to be the face of USAA. Can you believe it? Can't believe it. And I did what everybody does, and I put my head down and I worked hard. And I had the sole mission that I was going to find a way to make it life easier for other transitioning wounded warriors like myself to find a career after they served. See, I had a lot of things going for me. I had attained a rank that was marketable in the civilian sector. I had had those years to finish my college degree, which most wounded warriors do not get. And I had a pension big enough because of my years in service where I could continue my education. And I had been given that opportunity, and most wounded warriors are not given that opportunity. They're injured, they get out, and it's time to move into a civilian career. And what a lot of them find out is that they don't have the foundations to do that. And so Wounded Warrior Project started a program called the TRACK program, where they'll pay the Wounded Warriors a small stipend to live on, put them through 8 months of college education, and then give them 2 to 4 months after that to embed in a civilian company. And during that period of civilian company, they're to learn the day in the life of a regular civilian career, not a job, civilian career. They're there to learn corporate culture. What's it like? And most importantly, will I fit in? At USAA, we were scared to death to take part in this, just like every company. But we found enough volunteers across the enterprise, over 13 different directors from across the enterprise, all willingly raised their hand to host these Wounded Warriors. And through that, our intent was nothing more than to provide them the foundation that they need to succeed in a civilian career. But what we found out was that whether they won or not, we won, because we found more courage, more perseverance, and more tenacity in that handful of individuals than we've seen across the country to date. And I am proud to stand by USAA in all the efforts that they've done to support these folks just like myself. Provide them those, thank you. I'm going to conclude tonight with a charge. 2 charges. 1, to my fellow Wounded Warriors. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You are the next generation of motivators for this country. You will be the ones that our next generation turns to for inspiration. You didn't ask for it, but it's yours nonetheless. I look forward to seeing you on the cover of Time and Life magazine. But to whom much is given, much is expected. I charge you with this: own your transition. Own this time, make it yours, and I look forward to you standing on stage with me, motivating the next generation of this country. That's one. That's one. And finally, to the rest of the room. USAA was nervous to stand up and volunteer for this program and to support it as well. I don't care where you are in the civilian landscape, you can help with this as well. You have to just model what we did, and you just have to ask, how can we help? And my charge is to everybody in this room: reach out and ask, how can we help? Because the war on terror is not over. There are numbers of people in San Antonio, just like myself, that fight the war on terror every day and will for a long time. And it is no better place than San Antonio to stand up and give them the hand up, not the hand out, and give them an opportunity to take part in a program like the TRACK program. I appreciate everybody's attention, and I look forward to this program and these partnerships exploding in the near future. God bless you. Thank you.